everyone. Welcome to the Examine Life Daily. I'm here with Bob Wells. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Autumn. We're glad you folks are here.
And today we're just going to talk a little bit about why we named this channel the Examine Life Daily. And so we actually had a couple of different channel names that we were sort of pinging between. And then we both individually wanted to start a spirituality, psychology, well-being YouTube channel. And so we each kind of came with these different ideas. Bob, do you want to share a little bit about what you were thinking of a channel name initially?
Well, I've been thinking about this channel for literally years, many years, and I know you have too, about a different channel.
Yep.
And over the years, I have played with so many names. I bet I have looked at dozens and narrowed it down to 10, and then we narrowed it down some more, and finally we had decided on a name and changed it.
Yeah.
So how was your experience in choosing a name?
Oh boy. Okay, so I have a whole business named Sweetest Freedom. That name was just the perfect name for every business endeavor that I ever had. So for example, it started out with weight loss coaching, where I realized the sweetest freedom wasn't in consuming sweets. And so it was a play on words, but then it was like, wow, in all these other areas of life, the sweetest freedom is in delayed gratification. The sweetest freedom is in living nomadically. The sweetest freedom is in taking entrepreneurial endeavors and so it fit every aspect of my life. So I thought that was going to be my channel that eventually I'd launch. And but then once I connected with Bob, we just sort of thought what would work for us together.
So when I think about what this channel is and what my goal is with it, I am a follower of the 12 steps of AA. I'm not a member of AA. I can't be, I'm not an alcoholic. But I love the 12 steps of AA. I think they saved my life. They have everything I am, every good thing in my life, I owe to the 12 steps of AA. And so I have always wanted to find a way to distill the essence of the 12 steps and make them palatable for the general population, for everyone. They're not palatable. They're bitter, they're hard. I know that. This is not a 12-step channel. We will rarely talk about it. But at the core essence is the examined life. This unflinching, honest, rigorous honesty with yourself, about yourself, is the core of who and what I am. And I believe it is the foundation stone for the highest possible quality of life. So we worked together to find this name, and that one came up, and I got to say my first initial reaction was, well, doesn't have any pizzazz. I like pizzazz. The examined life is the cornerstone of a high quality, really fulfilling, flourishing life. And so that's what the name means to me.
Yeah, I love what Bob just shared. And I'll tell you, the reason that I fell in love with the name was I came from this perspective of freedom. I've had such a thorough examination and dedication to the topic of freedom. And so then whenever I thought, wow, the examined life, it really encompasses both of these perspectives that Bob and I are coming from. So there's going to be so many perspectives about how to live well. So there's a huge examination. And we tacked on daily at the end because we're going to have 2 videos for you guys every single day.
Or we're going to die trying, one or the other. No, actually, I have shot well over 300 quotes. And so you're catching up quickly.
Catching up, yes. Yeah. So there's been a very meaningful and fun amount of work to do, but it's been going great.
Yeah. So the examined life, I think, is really important. The idea that you understand who you are, because in our society, we really do not put any emphasis on self-examination, on understanding who we are. There's a quote that I love. And it says that when happiness heard your name, it ran through the streets looking for you. And I love that idea that happiness personified longs to find you and make you amazingly happy. And yet so many of us are not, very few of us have a genuine, real well-being and flourishing life. And the question to me is, why not? Why are we so struggling? And my answer has been, for many years now, because we wear a false mask and happiness can't find us. It's looking for the core of who we are, us, and it can't find us because we're wearing this mask. You've got to get the mask off and be your honest, true self. And then happiness will run you down and you won't be able to shake it off if you can get to the real core of who you are.
The mask that Bob is talking about, Carl Jung came to mind.
Me too.
One of our favorite thinkers.
Yeah.
And there's going to be so many amazing thinkers. Gosh, we've got Carl Jung, Viktor Frankl, Maslow. Who else have we been chatting about that we can't wait to share about?
One of my favorite thinkers is Socrates. You mentioned Jung, and he has something called the persona, the mask. And you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So Jung has a map of the psyche where we're so many different parts. And one of the parts that we show the world that in a lot of ways develops because we learn that this is the socially acceptable way to be is the persona, is the mask. That can be really beneficial in a lot of contexts, right? We have a job to do. We got to go to that job and be that role. But at the same time, if we identify too much with that part of who we are, we can really get stuck. And Bob was talking about knowing yourself. We can almost like not know ourselves if we're too identified with a persona.
As I think about this, I think back to my high school age and years. And, you know, if you were anything like me, and I suspect we are all a little bit alike, I never knew who I was. I certainly wasn't one of the cool kids. I wasn't the brainiac. I wasn't a jock. And I was kind of nothing. And so I kind of bounced around trying to find a mask to wear. Why? So I would be loved and accepted. And, you know, most of us have a yearning to be loved and accepted. And so we put on a mask, a pretense of who we really are so that people will love us. And it's easy to act that way and then to end up being, no one will love me if they know who I really am. And I believe that's a lot of why we put on these masks and we pretend we are something we're not. We don't know who we are because we don't want to find out for ourselves. What if I am not worthy of being loved or cared about? What if I don't deserve to be loved? And it's a terrifying thought. And yet I think, unfortunately, it is a deep hidden thought in the vast majority of our lives, men and women. You know, we think of that as a thing that happens to women, but it isn't just women. I can speak for myself. I always questioned whether I was worthy to be loved, and I couldn't let anyone find out who I was, so I built a wall. And on the other side of this wall was this really nice guy, great guy, but it wasn't me. And people are loving this wall I had built because I was completely separate and hidden behind it.
I have two thoughts based off of what Bob just shared. One, how lonely life can be with that wall. And I was thinking Bob was sharing a bit about the 12-step program. And one of the things that I love about the 12-step program, or something like group therapy or spiritual meetings where people do have an opportunity to share in a space that is designed to be accepting, that's designed to be real and true. And then all of a sudden we see, oh my gosh, I'm not alone in this. So many people are struggling with this thing that maybe I had shame about, but so many people struggle with this.
You know, I think that's why it's so important that we examine our life and be just really honest with ourselves and look deep inside. One of the things I want for this channel are to be exercises where we look inside and we're just really honest with ourselves and we say, this is who I am.
So let us know what you think of the channel name. Let us know what it means to you. And be sure to subscribe.
Thanks so much, everyone. We hope you will find something of real profound value to you, that your life will be better. And if your life is any better, we are tremendously grateful for you having come here. We're here every day with quotes and reflections on those quotes. So come back. We'll see you tomorrow.